as we initiate chaos theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness. Only another. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. All aboard the Beheading Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. Come on, freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Beheading Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey, you guys, welcome. We're back on the Beheading Express on day 5 of the Devin Michaels trial. Well, day 5 for us, day 3 or 4 in the real world. We are on 1.25 speed. Hopefully it's not going to be too fast. I do have the closed captions up. And we are going to get into this because I absolutely forgot I had a doctor's appointment today at 12:45. So we are going to 12. So I did want to get a good chunk of today in. We have already gone through the testimony of the mother and boyfriend who were present in the house when this incident happened. And this will be the first time we actually get to hear from the female state's attorney. So I wonder if she's going to be as much of a big personality as the male state attorney, because he is kind of loud and gregarious. So it will be interesting because the state and defense attorneys have both had really big personalities in this. So let's hop in here and see how it goes. No, we already did Mr. Yoshida. Okay, I was way off, apparently. All right, so we'd gotten through the mom. Okay, we had a break, and here we are. This is what happens when you pull clips every day, and you go through your history to remember what exactly point you were on the last time. I will say we haven't had as many jury questions as I thought we were going to have. This is a locality that does allow the jury to ask questions.
I do. Thank you.
No, wait, I think we were on her second. For some reason, I feel like we've already watched hers. But we will go back. It's been a long, it's that weird time between Christmas and New Year's where we don't know what time it is. So it's not going to kill us if we rewatch this.
Solemnly swear or affirm testimony about this action shall be true, the whole truth, and the truth, so help you God. I do. Thank you. Now, please state your full name and spell it. Sure. Nicole Mariam, Nicole Mariam.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Yes, still morning. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. What is your position?
I am a crime scene analyst 2 at the Henderson Police Department.
Okay. How long have you worked in that capacity?
Total almost 15 years. I've been at Henderson for just over 9 years, and I was with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for nearly 6 years prior to that.
And you mentioned crime scene analyst 2. What does that mean?
It's just a level, or the 2 specifically? Or?
Yes.
It's a level. So in both Metro and Henderson, there are 3 tiers of crime scene analysts. At Henderson, they're classified as tech is the bottom, the lowest when you start out, then 1, and then 2.
We
And
are
you have
going
done become a
to
crime scene analyst.
Sure. Scene's entirety, we do everything from burglaries up to homicide. So we don't just do major calls.
CV.
I honestly don't even begin to know what that number would be.
Safe to say hundreds?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
So then directing your attention to August 7th of 2023, were you called out to a scene?
I was.
What was the nature of the scene?
It was a search warrant reference a homicide investigation.
Okay. And was that location that you were assigned to 5510 Porcupine Rim?
Yes, it was.
What information did you have about the call?
I knew it was a homicide where the victim was located decapitated. And this residence was the house of, I believe, the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, and that we would be serving a search warrant on it.
What time, and did you arrive around 6:30 that night at that Porcupine Rim residence?
Yes, 6:34 was my arrival time.
Okay. And when you arrived at the scene, were people already there?
Yes.
Who was there?
The detectives were there. We also had Sergeant Kyle Slattery. We had, I believe, 6 detectives. Detective Ozawa, Detective Pappas, Detective Lina, Detective Christopher, Detective Skinner, and Detective Redsel.
So a handful of detectives, including
Correct.
yourself, correct?
I'm not a detective, but yes.
Oh, thank you for correcting me. So you get there, and the search warrant has already been obtained, signed off by a judge, and now is ready to be executed. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can you walk, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, sort of the process of what happened when you got there with that search warrant?
Sure. With search warrants, my job largely is photography. So
Does she have a nose ring? This is really bothering me. It is a squirrely day, y'all. Hagatha is not liking the cold weather. And mentally, part of me is, the non-functional part of me is like, oh crap, we have to get weighed today too. And my doctor doesn't subscribe to, I'll just guesstimate a weight and give it to you. No, he actually wants me to stand on a scale, which I find discriminatory because I can't be naked and take my shoes off.
I take pictures of the scene, the residence as it is. So the detectives have not yet searched anything. The photos I take in the beginning are as the scene is when I arrive. So I go through and I photograph any vehicles that would be related and the residence, all the different rooms, closets, to document the scene as it was when we arrived before anything has happened yet.
So you mentioned photographs.
Yes.
I have in my hand here hundreds of photos, specifically exhibits 235 through exhibit 441. Did you have a chance to review these items prior to testifying today?
I did.
And they're a fair and accurate depiction of the photos you took at this residence, correct?
Yes, they are.
And I believe by stipulation of the parties, the state is going to go ahead and move for the admission of these exhibits at this time.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, those exhibits will be admitted pursuant to stipulation.
So you get to
Good
the residence. Did one of the detectives have anything in their possession that was documented?
Yes.
And what was that?
Detective Skinner had a black cellular phone.
Okay. And publishing, permission to publish, Your Honor. States 236. Is this that cellular phone that was with Detective Skinner when you arrived?
Yes.
Was there anything of note that you observed on this phone?
Yes, there was an area of apparent blood on the screen.
And this is important if you're kind of just watching or jumping into this trial kind of here to have somewhere to hang out. This would actually be the decedent. So the gentleman who lost his head, this was actually Jonathan's cell phone, and it was found at Devin Mitchell's house on the day he was found decapitated at his mother's house in her driveway with a cracked screen and apparent blood on it that I do think eventually we will find out matched to John. So this is kind of a big important thing. And the phone was basically found when Devin was telling detectives when they first went to see her, you know what, John hasn't been here. I haven't gotten any calls from him. I've been blowing up his phone because the girls were supposed to start school. And then one of the girls comes up and says, oh, hey, there's Dad's cell phone. So we do know that futuristically, per Sarah Boone, that Devin is found guilty of this homicide, because she left basically all the evidence and she was the only one, in the house to do it.
And did you ultimately collect a sample from that?
I did, yes.
And you went ahead and impounded that?
Correct.
Okay. And was it positive?
It was presumptive test positive using phenolphthalein, yes.
So can you walk us through what you do in that process of testing?
Sure. Phenolphthalein is a product we use to determine if an area swabbed, is potentially blood. So it's a presumptive test, not completely definitive. There are false positives, but it is a good indicator that this is likely blood. Also, with my training and experience, the appearance of the stain, reddish brown stain, also did appear consistent with blood. And then the results of the phenolphthalein test being positive indicated it was very likely blood.
So you essentially swab the area, is that right?
Yes. So we take a sterile cotton swab, almost like a Q-tip, put sterile water on it, and then rub it on to the stain. So I moistened the swab, rubbed the area of blood on the phone, and then I took an extra swab to be able to test it. That way I didn't ruin the swab that we were impounding. I took 2 swabs actually that I booked impounded with the blood, and then 1 extra one to test with the phenolphthalein to presumptively determine if it was blood.
And you mentioned that you did impound those items, and that would have been under, and you would have marked them under event number 12-15229, correct?
It was the first 2 digits are 23-15229.
Okay. Right. And obviously you observed the front of the residence, is that correct?
Yes.
Showing 239. Is that the front of the residence there?
Yes.
Were there vehicles at the residence when you arrived?
Yes.
And I think we can see it here, but there is a vehicle sort of in the driveway to the left. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then there's a work truck in the front of the home.
Correct.
And then behind the work truck, kind of hard to see in this photo, but there is another vehicle parked to the right part of the driveway.
Yes.
And did the search warrant also include, states 241, a search of this work van here?
Yes.
Okay, and it was searched.
Yes.
Anything of evidentiary value found inside that vehicle?
No.
And that's
States
really important
242.
because the defense is doing their darndest to make Deviere, the person who owned that van, the suspect. And thank you, Squab. Swab, not squab. You're right. So it is really important because the defense has, for this entire case, from their opening statement, stated that Deviere was the person that did this because of his combined knowledge putting in security videos and the fact that he was aware that when his father moved into the house, that he would have to move out. Now, what the actual plans were regarding how this house love triangle thing was supposed to work, with Devin and Deviere being married and John just being there for the kids, depending on who you ask, they were all going to live as a happy family, or Deviere knew that he was going to be getting out of this relationship. He didn't want anything to do with Devin basically anymore. I don't think even the people involved know what the hell was supposed to happen when they were in the love triangle from hell home.
Were these vehicles searched as well?
Yes. Well, the one on the right, the Honda Civic.
Okay. And what about the one on the left then?
The one on the left is a Nissan Armada. It was locked and it was sealed and then towed to our secured garage at the Henderson Police Department. It's our crime scene garage. And it was searched later with a different search warrant.
Anything of evidentiary value that you know of in either of these vehicles found?
I do not know about the Nissan Armada, but I do know the Honda Civic was searched on scene where I was present. And no, there was nothing of evidentiary value in the Civic.
Showing 265. What do we see here?
So to the right on the screen there is the front entry door. So that's the main entrance door into the house. And this is the front formal room. It's also connected to the formal dining room.
And sort of near the door to the right of this photo, do we see sort of a shoe rack there?
Yes.
And on that shoe rack, did you locate any black Nikes with a swoosh, white swoosh on them?
No.
And the black Nikes
Publishing
are
267. What is this
are
here?
important.
That's a different
because
angle of that same room.
there is actually footage of Devin with Jonathan, I think, going into a gas station that evening. And they were able to locate all of Devin's clothing except for those shoes from that evening. And there were kind of a clear picture of the shoes in the security footage. So again, she left basically all the evidence. The only thing, except for the head and the items used to take off the head. But I mean, this wasn't a whodunit.
So again, on the right, you see the couch, and on the left is the dining table where the family room meets up with the formal dining room area.
268. What do we see there?
That's a close-up of one of the larger seats or couches in the room, the living room.
And then I'm specifically sort of
And then the defense is going to make a big deal of this. But these are actually swords or katanas or, look, some kind of weapon thing that was in the home. Now, I do believe that these are going to have been taken and tested and come up clean. And eventually, when we get to the medical examiner later in the week, the evidence is that, yes, some sort of bladed weapon was used initially, but then there was the introduction of a power tool of some sort. So the defense is going to probably make a big deal that there were weapons in the front room.
pointing towards the left of the center chair. Those items there, were those, did anyone look at those?
Yes.
And what were they?
Some types of swords.
276, what do we see here?
That's a photograph of the kitchen in the residence.
Okay. And this kitchen was searched thoroughly, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Publishing 277, What do we see here?
That's a picture of me standing in the kitchen, looking out to the like dining nook, and then the living room. That's a different one than the front entry, the family room. This is the living room.
And then when you were searching the kitchen, you didn't find any sort of murder weapon, anything with blood on it, anything like that, correct?
Correct.
278. What is this?
That's the master bedroom. That's on the first floor of the residence.
And then 279
It's a different angle of the same master bedroom.
and 280.
Same, just another angle of the master bedroom.
Okay, no. First of all, okay, you are. Maybe I have weird levels of adulthood, but if you cannot put up a curtain rod, and let me tell you, despite the fact that my curtain rods may never have been level, when I was a single mom before I met Mr. Mo, I in fact put up my own curtains. So this nailing curtains to the wall thing is unacceptable. I mean, sure, I could have used a level, but, and okay, maybe I'm crazy, but the only part of basic that stuck with me is that my bed needs to be made. I actually continue to mainly sleep on the top of my bed because a lot of pressure on my legs isn't helpful. But because look, I'm chaotic, I'm messy, I know all about having kids and stuff, but I feel better about myself having seen this picture of a broom because I'm like, one, I have actual curtain rods. You know, it's not a great life achievement, but I have been able to, put up curtain rods myself, and I always make my bed.
88.
That's the master bedroom looking into the attached master bathroom.
And then we have 289,
That is the master bathroom, and then the master closet is off the bathroom there.
291,
And that's one of the pictures of inside the master closet.
and 291A.
That is the other half of the master closet.
And in the closet, anywhere in the home, were any black Nikes with a white swoosh found?
No, we did not locate any.
Publishing 295, what do we see here?
It's a picture of the laundry room.
And the laundry would have been searched, correct?
Correct.
296,
That's a linen closet, and I believe the door that goes out into the garage.
and then 297 then.
That's a close-up of the closet.
299,
That is a picture of the garage, the three-car garage.
and this area was thoroughly searched, correct?
Yes.
No murder
All
weapons,
right,
nothing
I
like
have the same gripe that I have with my husband here about this garage. Now imagine that a garage is a home for a car and not crap. And they wouldn't have to put their work van in the, on the side of the street had they cleared all the crap out of their garage and moved their cars in. I don't know why that's a bugbear for me. We do currently have a garage, and Mr. Mo has made it into his workshop. But it does house it's not a mini escalator, damn it, excavator. So it does in theory house now functional vehicle-like stuff and a workshop. So I feel less irritated about it. But this picture reminds me of my general case that this is a home for cars, not crap.
that found inside this garage, correct?
Correct.
307, what do we see here?
That's the second floor loft, the playroom.
309,
That is a linen closet, I believe, upstairs on the second floor.
then 311,
That's one of the upstairs bedrooms. It was set up as an office area.
318,
That's a different bedroom upstairs. It was kind of a sewing storage room.
and what do we see inside this photo?
Appears to be a wedding dress or
No
a white
worries.
320,
dress. That is the upstairs hall bathroom.
321,
That is the bathtub in that hall bathroom.
322,
That is one of the other bedrooms upstairs on the second floor.
and it looks like sort of on the head of the bed, some stickers on there, maybe
Yes.
childlike stickers?
Yes.
326,
That is a picture of the fourth bedroom upstairs.
looks like on the bedding some sort of cartoon of sorts.
Yes, print, yes.
328,
Those are just photos of miscellaneous receipts that were located during the search warrant.
do you recall where they were located?
I believe the kitchen, but I'm not 100%.
Okay. 329,
That is a picture of the dressers in the master bedroom.
was there something located inside of one of these drawers?
Yes.
And what was that?
It was a collection of plastic bags,
Okay.
6 in total.
No, I am judging. Okay, why even have a dresser when all of your clothing seems to be strewn on the floor? I mean, at this point, why even have a dresser? It looks like a clutter catcher. Look, y'all, as much of a chaos demon as I am, I have gotten to the age where enormous amount of clutter and random things all over every surface drives me nuts. I make a concerted effort every day to put all of my makeup magical potions back on my vanity where they go because I know me. I am lazy. I don't like to clean up, but I also don't like my room looking like this. Honestly, I have become cleaner since watching trials and realizing that at any moment, allegedly in Minecraft, anyone from the government could come in and try to take, pictures of my house. Hey, you got to find the motivation that works for you. And being shame-embarrassed on the internet with the state of my house has been motivation for me.
With the inner one being knotted, tied in a knot, containing a black wallet that had miscellaneous cards and also the driver's license in the name of Jonathan Willett, and then a set of keys were tied in that inner plastic Vaughn's bag, grocery bag.
So then publishing 347, is that bag?
Yes, that's the inner, you can see the knot at the top, so that's the inner bag, and there were 5 other plastic bags around it.
344 are those extra bags that were around it?
Yes,
So-
that's the clump of all of it.
She septuple bagged it because I was. What in the name of meth is this? Is this bag situation here? I mean, good night, nurse. On a personal note, I do love the smell of Dreft, so I agree. Dreft is a great, look, it reminds me of when the kiddos were little. I do love the Dreft smell, so I might pick up a bottle of Dreft, fabric smelly stuff here today.
And then 348, is that the wallet and keys you mentioned?
Yes,
And then 349, the driver's license you mentioned.
correct.
And whose name is on that driver's license?
Jonathan James Willett.
Inside of the bedroom as well, states 330. What do we see here?
That's a BB gun.
And then 331.
That is the nightstand, if you're looking at the bed on the left side, and there's a Glock 19X semi-automatic firearm, 9mm, in that top drawer.
Showing you 334. Were there some writings found inside the master bedroom as well?
Yes,
And same with 335,
yes,
336.
yes, that's a close-up.
Okay. 337, sort of a notebook with writings, correct?
Correct.
338, another writing.
Yes,
339, another writing.
yes.
Yeah, she seemed to be quite a prolific journaler or note taker.
Inside the garage, states 353. Did you locate a bag with something inside?
Yes.
And what do we see there?
So that red bag was found on top of those trash cans in the garage, and there were 2 Ring cameras, security cameras, that were located inside that red bag.
So that
Yeah, in addition to being all of the innocent, more or less that the defense is claiming, somehow, some way, the Ring cameras on John Willett's mother's house where he was staying, Yoko, ended up in Devin's garage. Just the night that he happened to lose his head. It's insane. When I say she basically left all the evidence except for the head and the power tool, that's basically, we've got everything.
states 356. Is that a close-up of that red bag?
Yes.
And states 355. Are those Ring cameras you mentioned?
Yes, they are.
That's no fun. JKD Buck, I would be ticked off about that. I would much rather work in the morning, have the afternoon off. I feel like if I work or when I would work afternoon shifts, I was just waiting for my shift to come up and I didn't feel as productive. I don't know. Then when I worked in the morning, I didn't get all the stuff I wanted to do done in the afternoon. So It's not like I was always super productive regardless of time.
Showing you stage 360. What do we see there?
That is the bed in the master bedroom with a blue and gray striped dress laid out on top of it.
362.
That is a receipt.
Then looking at 366, what do we have here?
That's a mini backpack purse that was located on top of the bed in the master bedroom.
And states 363, something of evidentiary value found inside that purse?
Yes.
And what was it?
A social security card in the name of Jonathan Willett.
And you found other electronics inside that bedroom as well, correct?
Yes.
There were several.
Yes.
And those would have been collected as well.
By detectives. I did not collect them. I photoed them.
And you mentioned several writings that were collected in this case, right?
They weren't collected, they were photographed.
Thank you. They were photographed. And then- Showing you states 394, was this located as well?
Yes.
Okay, and what do we see toward the card underneath Jonathan's social security card there?
Appears to be a business card in the name of Devin J. Michaels as a realtor.
For you guys just tuning in, Devin used to be an adult film star. I was unaware that she was into realty as well. Again, I'm not her mom, so the fact that she used to work in adult film doesn't. I have no dog in this fight. Look, I don't pay her taxes, so that's her thing. But this case is basically the weirdest one I have ever covered. You have Devin Michaels, who in this photo, when she was working realty, she did have access to a hairbrush. Now, currently, she looks like Chewbacca without a hairbrush. I don't know if that's a look she was going for or what have you. Yeah, and not her stage name. It wasn't Chastity or Destiny, which I find hilarious. I think it was Nikki something. Again, this woman went out with John Willett, had 2 children with him, decided to engage in a physical relationship, allegedly, with his older son from a previous relationship during the time that John and she were together and the girls were very young. She and John then split up and she married the son, Devier. So Devier is not only the stepbrother, but the half sibling to his stepdaughters. And that's just the backstory. Then allegedly John was going to move into the home with Devier and Devin, and they were all going to be a one big messed up happy family in order to give the girls a stable home. But the night that they were planning to do all this moving in, Devin and Jonathan were at his mother's house, Yoko's house, and Yoko only interacted with Devin. Now, I do still have questions despite both Yoko and Yoshida, the 2 other people inside the house, being much older. I still question how a power tool could have been used in a somewhat small house in a room without a door on it, because John was essentially sleeping in like this living room area of his mother's house. How you wouldn't hear that. But given the age, it does kind of make sense that if you're hard of hearing or you have to take medications to help you sleep, you could be, well, for lack of a better pun, dead to the world.
And again, some devices were located.
Correct.
In an abundance of time, I'm not going to go through each one of those. Members of the grand jury will have these. 413, what is that?
2 debit cards.
Showing you 414. What does that depict?
That's the upstairs hall bathroom, so that's the sink vanity area, and underneath in the cabinets was a safe.
And 415, is that just a close-up of that same safe?
Yes.
And you located items inside of the safe, correct?
Yes.
416, what do we see inside the safe?
That's a 9mm 6-hour handgun. Looks like live ammunition as well as extra magazines. and maybe a magazine and a speed loader.
Okay, I get this, but then you also have a force multiplier in your nightstand. I get that you would feasibly, if the possibility was to use them for home defense, you would want one that's easily accessible. But with small children, they do have boxes that you can fit in a nightstand that are biometric. They're pricey. Look, I'm not going to lie. Everything is pricey. Welcome to the world of, well, this current timeline. But I do question a bit of the safety. Now, some families, train children not to touch force multipliers. They're not toys. That could be it, but I question everything about this case.
And you would have documented the backyard as well, correct?
Yes.
422, 423. And then did you take photographs of the female that was there?
I did, yes.
Okay. And publishing 424, is that the female that you photographed?
Yes.
And you knew her to be Devin Michaels, correct?
Yes.
Publishing 425. What do we see there?
That's just the back of her.
426.
Those are close-ups of her hands.
And we see sort of a ruler here. What is that?
That's called an ABFO scale. It's just a scale to show the general size of items.
States 427. What do we see there?
That's just more of a close-up of her other hand, again with the scale.
428.
And those are the pictures of the palms of her hands.
Did you also take a picture of a male that was there?
I did, yes.
And that was Devier Willett, correct?
Correct.
Showing 429. Is that the front picture of him?
Yes.
430.
This is back.
431.
Those are, again, the same style pictures of his hands.
Do you notice any cuts on his hands or anything like that?
No, he had no apparent injuries.
Oh, no bruising?
And this is going to be important, but Devin did confess to police. Now, she recanted her confession and is now trying to put it all on Devier. But she confessed to the police that she kind of lured John into a vulnerable position. She promised him a massage. So she got him laying on the bed. Now, in her confession, she bludgeoned him once over the head with a candlestick. So in this case, we actually have a clue moment of crazy, Miss Hodacity with a candlestick in the living room. Like I said, this case is nutty. But the way Devin told this story, it's very unlikely that she would have gotten hurt because she claimed she hit him hard enough that he instantly lost consciousness and was basically in the process of passing away before she did any decapitation. That being said, I'm not shocked that she didn't have really any injuries to her hand because he essentially wouldn't be moving. Now, it does appear that she kind of maneuvered him to the edge of the bed. I think to the edge of whichever side she did the cutting, and that's how she was able to do it as a single person. And she is a tiny woman, and John Willett, along with Devier, were approximately 6'4", 6'2", and 220 pounds. So all of this is to say that the way she explained things and confessed to things does make sense, and I think is plausible given all of the evidence. But it does explain why she doesn't have a lot of cuts on her hands, because he essentially wasn't moving. She had utter control, and a lot of the injuries of the hands are from more dynamic, offensive, defensive movements.
Nothing like that, correct? 432.
And those are his palms.
Same thing, no injuries there, correct?
Correct.
When you were taking pictures of Miss Michaels, what was her demeanor like?
I honestly don't recall too much.
Nothing out of the ordinary?
No, I don't. Nothing stands out to me one way or another.
Same thing with Devier, correct?
Correct.
Nothing out of the ordinary?
Correct.
Okay. Turning your attention then to August 9th of 2023, did you assist in collecting an item back at that 2698 Paladura Drive?
Yes.
And did that include black boxers?
I believe they were gray.
Okay. But they were boxers
Yes, boxer
nonetheless,
shorts.
correct? And those were located on top of a couch,
Yes.
correct? Okay, and that was inside of sort of that recessed, informal, makeshift bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. Then on August 15th of 2020, and you collected those and impounded them, correct?
Correct.
On August 15th of 2023, you then returned to the 5510 Porcupine Rim,
Yes.
correct? Okay. And you were there to collect and document some more items with a search warrant, correct?
Correct.
I believe you took photos of cleaning products that were located in cabinets, correct?
Yes.
A pair of blue cloth shorts in the first floor of the master bedroom.
Yes.
And a pink tank top in the first floor of the master bedroom.
Yes, the first
All
one was-
impounded
I did not impound the cleaning products or the tank top, but I did collect and impound the blue shorts.
under that same event number that we discussed.
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Okay, just one moment.
Ooh, she actually braided her hair today.
You were shown hands of both Devier Willette photographs and Devin Michaels, correct?
Yes.
Were those all the photos that you took of both of these people's hands, front and back?
I don't believe so. In general, those photographs. I typically take pictures of the two together, the two flipped, individual more of the left, individual more of the right.
Okay. And you were asked questions as to whether or not you saw any injuries on Mr. Willette's hands?
Correct.
In your testimony that you signed that?
Right. There were no apparent injuries that we noted.
You were not asked questions concerning Ms. Michaels'
Not that I'm
hands.
aware of, no.
Same questions. No injuries, front or back, correct?
Correct. I didn't notice any injuries to her hands either.
You testified that you arrived at the Porcupine residence, I think you said 6:34?
6:34 p.m. was my approximate arrival time. Yes.
And you generated a report in reference to the efforts that you took through the course of this investigation.
Correct.
You authored 2 reports?
For this entire,
The Porcupine residence.
for the first Porcupine Rim search warrant, 2, a main crime scene report and then an evidence impound report.
Okay. Did you author any other reports in reference to your analysis or the collection of evidence at the Porcupine residence?
There would have been a biological stain presumptive test form, which is a form we fill out regarding that phenolphthalein test, the presumptive test for the blood, that documents the lot number and the expiration of the specific phenolphthalein batch that I used, and whether or not that presumptive test came back positive or negative.
Okay. The report that you authored concerning this search on August 7th, Porcupine residence, it's 2 pages and then a signature page, correct?
I believe, just depending on how you print it out, but yes, that's how it printed out for me as well.
Okay, and obviously you reviewed that in preparation for your testimony.
Yes.
Because you, as you've testified, you have been involved in at least hundreds of crime scene analysis, documentation of such, correct?
Yes.
And yours. We'll go through this. Are these all the?
Kathy Hall, it could be just a term of art, like some, think of like how in Massachusetts they say the Commonwealth instead of the state, or sometimes they'll say, I think it's just a term of art that they use in Nevada. I am not a lawyer, but that's my guess. It could be, we collected this. I think it's just a term of art.
Exhibits.
There's some right here too.
Okay. Are those all the exhibits that were taken at the Porcupine residence?
These, between those two, yes. Yes, they have. Yeah.
Okay. You were asked questions specifically concerning tennis shoes, correct?
Correct.
Your testimony is that you didn't photograph, didn't collect any evidence concerning tennis shoes?
That we did not locate the specific shoes she was describing.
Are these specific shoes that you've given testimony concerning, that you now say that you were looking for, is that documented in your report?
That we did not find shoes?
That you were looking for?
I don't document what we were looking for, no.
Okay, but you just gave testimony concerning what you said you found or didn't find, correct?
I gave testimony saying what I photographed and booked.
Okay. Did you have a list of things that you should be looking for?
No, the detectives are the ones who pretty much dictate the search. I'm there largely as a photographer, and then I collect the evidence that we locate. So the detectives are the ones that know what they're looking for.
Were there any black shoes that you located at that residence, black tennis shoes?
Perhaps we could go through the photos and look, but nothing that I specifically photographed.
You don't recall photographing a shoe holder near the front door?
I do, but I don't want to testify officially without examining the photograph that there were black tennis shoes on there, because that was not something that I specifically documented.
Do you recall specifically capturing a photo of black tennis shoes in a closet?
Again, no, I took overall pictures of the closet, and then I photographed the items the detectives locate, and deem of note, I then photographed those more closely.
It's your testimony that you reviewed, and I believe it was the first exhibit under this pile that was published to the jury concerning a work van, correct?
Yes, there was a Nissan cargo van parked out front.
And you testified that there was nothing of evidentiary value contained within that van, correct?
Correct.
Did you photograph the contents of the van?
I did.
Power tools in the van?
I'm not sure we can look at the photographs, but I just took overall pictures of the inside of the van.
Any saws found in that van?
Hey, how about you? Again, yes, and it has come out previously in the trial that John Willett was actually involved in a lot of kind of the same handyman or small construction jobs, moving kind of odd jobs around the house. So John did have a lot of tools in the garage, which was very close to the living room / bedroom that he was staying at Yoko's. So good on the defense for, again, trying to bring Deviere into this. But if the jurors were paying attention, it was already said that John had plenty of tools, and no one else was really aware of the depth and breadth of his tool collection. So it's very possible that Devin could have gotten a power tool from the garage, and she was aware that he had tools there. So good try, a swing and a miss.
Again, I'm not sure.
But nonetheless, it's your testimony there was nothing in the van that was of evidentiary value.
Correct.
You were shown pictures of 3 samurai swords.
Mm-hmm. I believe there's 3, but yes, of swords.
Did you pull out the swords?
Yes, the detectives did.
Did you photograph the blades?
I'm not sure if the blades were photographed or not, but if there was anything like blood or any type of item of note on there, we would have photographed it.
Were these samurai swords wiped for anything of evidentiary use? DNA testing, fingerprint testing, anything like that?
Were they swabbed? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
No.
Now, you were aware that this case involved a decapitation, correct?
Yes.
Are you aware of the manner or means in which this decapitation may have occurred, or how?
No.
But nonetheless, you're going through this investigation, making determinations what's of evidentiary value.
She doesn't
or no,
make the
correct?
determinations.
Fair to say that you were...
While she is sort of there as a collaborative effort, the detectives are going to be the ones that have intimate knowledge of the case, that are going to be able to, say, oh, this is linked to this case. She basically gets a call that says there was a homicide, kind of like the cliff notes or possibly an index card worth of information. So the detectives know, look, we're probably looking for a power tool. So yeah, the swords being there is an interesting sort of red herring that you do have to look at. But they know that the samurai sword was not used based on tool marks.
As you sit here today, and it'll be borne out in the photographs, you don't recall photographing the actual swords other than they're on the ground, correct?
I have a more close-up photo of them. I don't know if I photographed them unsheathed.
Okay, but it's clear you didn't collect anything from them
Correct.
for further submission.
Correct.
You don't recall photographing a sawzall or a saw in that work van, correct?
Correct.
Or submitting anything for any secondary tests, correct?
Not from anything in the van. Correct.
You make reference to some soft scrub bleach located in the laundry room of this Porcupine residence, correct?
Yes.
And you felt that was of evidentiary value?
The detectives told me to specifically photograph this bottle of bleach.
Soft scrub, that's a fairly common household item, is it not?
I can't testify to I don't have it in my house, but it's a,
Soft scrub, I mean, you've heard of it, you know of it, correct?
I don't know that I've well-versed on brands of bleach, but I was not shocked by.
She's a Mr. Clean Fabuloso type of girl. I love how he's like, you're a woman. You know cleaning supplies, woman. I mean, I'm just alleging. You know bleach. You have boobs. That face says, no, I don't use bleach products. I use Lysol.
Seeing the brand.
Common occurrence, I mean,
Sure.
fair to say these hundreds of times seen, I mean, people have soft scrub at their house, correct?
Like I said, I can't testify to who has it, but I'm sure people possess soft scrub bleach, yes.
What do you use?
I have Clorox bleach or the Walmart brand,
Okay.
but I just have liquid bleach.
Fair to say, no blood, anything indicative of blood contained within the house, correct?
Just on the cellular phone that was in possession of Detective Skinner.
Okay, that's it.
Yes, that's all we saw.
In reviewing the Armada, did you take pictures of that?
Just on the exterior, because it was locked and we did, like I said, sealed it and then towed it to the crime scene garage, where it was then processed by a different crime scene analyst at a later date.
Okay, so you're unaware of any results or the lack thereof of any blood or anything of that?
Correct. I don't know
correct?
what was inside the Armada.
Through your review of the house, you found no signs of blood on any clothing or anything else for that matter,
Correct.
Nothing found in any trash cans of that nature,
Correct.
And here's kind of where in my mind I see this whole scenario going down. Devin tells, John, she's going to give him a smexy, massage. She is in the nudish, which would make sense to get him on the bed and get him excited for the massage deal. And then she bonks him on the head and does everything nude, keeping her clothes clean, taking a quick shower at the house or when she got home, but that's how she's not covered in a lot of stuff. When you see her, I think she stops at CVS prior to getting home at like 3:00 on the day before school starts. For her girls, the big reason that John was moving in was to give them stability going into the new school year. And yeah, none of this makes sense.
I have the court's indulgence just one moment. I don't have any more questions as witness. Thank you very much.
Nothing for the state.
Okay, so your response,
Thank you.
very much for your testimony here today. State, you may call your next witness.
Dr. Stephanie Yagi.
Bench counsel, Rose Washington, come in.
And this might be the medical examiner now. This wasn't a terribly long case. So I doubt that the state is going to have many more people after the medical examiner, probably maybe a couple of lab people to explain the blood stain that they found on the phone, and then someone else to go over the journal writings that were found. But I don't see the state's case being that much longer. I have been a little bit disappointed because Las Vegas or Nevada is a locality that does have jury questions available during the trial. We haven't had any jury questions yet. Even to witnesses who I thought would be somewhat more important, like definitely Yoko, Jonathan's mom, there weren't even any questions about that.
Doctor, you please state your full name and spell it for the record.
First name is Stephanie, Stephanie. Last name is Yagi, Yagi.
Thank you, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Ma'am, what do you do for a living?
I'm a medical examiner at the Clark County Coroner's Office.
And how long have you been so employed?
About 3 years.
What is it that you do on a day-to-day basis at the medical examiner's office?
So my role,
We
my
are
primary
gonna
role at the medical
skip
examiner's office is
the
going to be determining
CV.
cause and
Medical examination, death, homicide, trauma, ... All right. Looks like we had a very short CV. Good deal.
The term autopsy, and I think I glossed over it, what does an autopsy actually entail?
So an autopsy is a medical type of examination. It has multiple parts. The first of which is going to be an external examination. So we look at the body. We document any identifying features, eye color, hair color, tattoos, any external trauma or injuries that we can see with our eye. Then we'll move on to an internal examination where we open the body in a surgical-like fashion. We again inspect the internal organs for things like natural disease or trauma and injury. The autopsy also includes ancillary testing, such as like toxicology testing.
Oh, and I thought we were done.
So the body is received at our office in a sealed body bag. Once the seal is broken, the body undergoes forensic processing and goes through the autopsy procedures that I've previously discussed. At the time of the external examination that I performed, there was absence of the head of Mr. Willette's body.
While the autopsy process is occurring, are you or other staff photographing the body?
Yes, photographs are taken at every step of the process of the autopsy examination, which are done by our forensic technicians.
Those forensic technicians, do they go hands-on with the body at any point during the process?
Yes, our forensic technicians are actually responsible for moving the body and eviscerating the body, which is, again, doing the internal examination or internal dissection portion of the exam.
Do those forensic technicians work in tandem? Do they work alone? What is the common process?
The forensic processing is usually done by the forensic technician in singularity prior to the exam, and during the exam, we do work in tandem with the forensic technician.
Weird question, but I have to ask it. What percentage of your forensic techs are female?
Currently, at this time, 100% of our forensic technicians are female.
And is it common for those female forensic technicians to flip bodies on their own
Yes,
all the time?
quite often.
Actually, this is a pretty good thing to bring up because if you are on a jury and maybe you haven't been exposed to this, you might honestly be wondering and looking at Devin in the defense table. She's not a large woman. One of the kind of things that we know about Jonathan, and if they were paying attention, to the driver's license, he's a fairly tall, I think 6'2", 6'3" man and 220 pounds. What he lied about or agreed to on his driver's license, now for me, that has never matched reality, but let's go with 220. I mean, the jury is probably wondering how Devin, or if Devin, would be able to maneuver essentially 220 pounds of dead weight. So bringing up the fact that 100% of her techs are female and that they do this. Now, I'm sure the defense attorney is going to ask, is it a team project? Which I'm guessing it is. But this is interesting for the state to bring up.
In this particular case, you and forensic techs documented the process of the autopsy and have moved for the admission of 464 through 494, Judge.
Any objection to this?
No, Your Honor.
Shall we admit it?
Thank you. May I publish?
Yes.
Starting with 464, what are we looking at here?
So this is a photograph of Mr. Willett as received in the body bag.
465, is that his lower body?
Yes.
What are these items on his hands?
These are bags to preserve possible trace evidence that are placed on the body at the scene.
During this process, do you measure the body?
I personally do not, but the body is measured, yes.
And when I say you, I sometimes mean the team. Somebody in the process measures the body, correct?
Yes.
In this particular case, what were the body's measurements?
The length was measured at 68 inches and the weight 169 pounds.
So his body as received is 169 pounds, correct?
Correct.
I would presume it would be more if his head was attached.
Yes.
Do you know the average weight of a human head?
Probably on the line around 10 pounds.
During your external examination of the body, what general things did you notice?
So, as previously stated, there was the absence of the head and upper neck, as well as there were some changes to the front side of the body that were consistent with some kind of chemical type burns.
Okay. Back to 464. If you could point to what you mean by chemical type burns.
So all along the front of Mr. Willett's body, we have changes of the skin, which...
So at first, I thought that the chemical burns might have been an attempt to remove tattoos or identifiers, because a lot of times if a head is removed, it's to hide the identity of the person. But the more that we get into this case, I think it was from her cleaning up. And I'm guessing, I know that bleach can do really bad stuff to your skin. So if she was, soft scrubbing and bleaching out stuff or using industrial strength cleaners, non-diluted, it could have had some interaction with the body. Well, she actually, this is kind of an interesting case because prior to the trial starting, she had already accepted a plea deal and then reneged on that and decided to plead not guilty. Now, this has already gone through and she was found guilty of this murder. It wasn't a whodunit. I mean, she was basically the only person who was there at the time alone with Jonathan when this could have happened. As to why she decided to change and go against the plea deal, I'm not sure. There is a hearing that where that happened that we might cover at the end of the trial, because I just kind of picked this because I knew from Baker that this was one of the crazier trials, and I wanted to have a little bit of a buffer between high profile trials and just a trial we could all look at and say, what in the Walmart rapture?
Again, are consistent with a more chemical type burn.
Are all of the changes or the discoloration in the skin we're seeing those chemical burns, or is there something else going on here?
There is additional to the burn type pattern. There's almost like a diamond weave type pattern that you can see on predominantly the chest, which is actually consistent with the pattern that was seen on the mattress where Mr. Willet's body was found.
Ma'am, what is lividity?
Lividity is the postmortem pooling of blood in the gravity-dependent areas of the body.
And what is slippage?
Slippage is a term that we use for the appearance that the skin can show when there's separation of the top layer of skin that happens.
Okay. Does that typically happen post-mortem?
Yes.
Showing you the front of John's right arm. Do you see that there?
Yes.
What are we looking at here?
So this looks like to be an area of some postmortem changes, which could be, as previously described, some area of skin slippage.
When it comes to lividity and these postmortem changes that occur to a body, is it possible for you to establish a time of death based upon that?
Sometimes.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So there are a lot of factors that we need to evaluate for determining time of death. Most of these factors are highly variable, which includes things like the actual decedent's natural state of health. In addition to that, the environment that the body is found, things like heat, humidity, et cetera, as well as any external factors or the environment, such as water or air or soil that the body is found in.
Not to mention, you're typically not conducting an autopsy immediately after death, correct?
Correct.
In this case, I believe you did it on August 8th.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And so do you have an opinion as to John's time of death?
No, our determination on time of death is, again, highly variable, and it would have to be given within a range of time based on the state of the body. In this particular case, it would probably be within a half day or hours.
States 472. Oops. Is this John now laying on what would be his belly?
Yes,
Is there an anatomical or, I guess, a forensic term for that?
prone?
So he is prone with belly down now, correct?
Yes.
What is this kind of discoloration we're seeing on the side?
This could potentially be an area of liver.
What's liver?
As we previously discussed, blood pooling in the gravity-dependent or areas of the body.
What does this tell you about John and his circumstances of his death?
At one point in time, he may have been face down or face up. This is a lateral aspect of the body, so I can't tell you.
Okay. Showing you 473. What are we looking at here?
This is kind of the neck region of the body.
From the back?
Yes.
474, same position basically,
Yes.
now with a ruler. Did you or your forensic techs clean up John's body?
Yes, the forensic technicians.
Before I move on, did you notice anything about the blood that was abnormal? Is this normal, the coloring?
I can't tell anything from this photograph.
475, what are we looking at here?
So this is now a cleaned up photograph of that same area, the neck region from the back.
Is there anything notable to the back of the neck?
Yes.
What is that?
So in this photograph, you can see that there are some superficial incised wounds that are somewhat parallel to the main area of defect at the neck here.
476, is that a little bit closer on those areas that you were describing?
Yes.
What does this tell you, if anything, as a forensic pathologist?
This may indicate there were previous attempts to use a sharp force injury in this area.
Previous to the decapitation itself?
Yes.
And that would make sense. I mean, with Chandler Halderson, some of the remains there, and even the Joel Guy Jr. case, there were hesitation marks. And I'm guessing after the medical examiner testifies, we're going to get the forensic anthropologist in to explain how the markings indicate that a either serrated or non-serrated stationary blade was used and then a power tool of some sort was used by looking at the markings on the bone and the skin.
Did you document John's hands?
Yes.
478, is that his right hand?
Yes.
479, another angle of his right hand.
Yes.
480, same thing, another angle.
Yes.
481, inside of John's right hand.
Yes.
Did you observe any bleeding injuries to his right hand?
No.
482, is this John's left hand?
Yes.
483, also his left hand?
Yes.
Do you see these little things here?
Yes.
What do these appear to be to you?
Some type of callus or blister.
Any bleeding injuries to his left hand?
No.
484, another shot of his left hand.
Correct.
485, the inside of his left hand.
Yes.
And what are we looking at here?
Again, I would consider these blisters or calluses.
Any bleeding injuries to his left hand at all?
No.
And that would indicate he was left-handed, or he was left-hand dominant when he was doing stuff, because they didn't mention anything about calluses being on the right hand.
Did you observe any minor injuries to the rest of John's body, staying away from the head and neck?
Yes, there are a few contusions or bruises to the extremities.
When you say a few, how many do you mean?
At least 3.
Were those minor in nature, meaning not very apparent?
Yes.
I'm going to show you now another kind of graphic photo. 466. Can you reorient us?
Yes, so again, this is a photograph of the neck region, and now the body is on its backside.
Okay. Can you just describe what you're seeing in this photograph?
Sure. So there is a kind of irregular defect that has resulted in a complete decapitation of the body.
When you say irregular defect, can you provide any further context to that?
The surface of the wound looks kind of ragged. It doesn't look straight.
468, are we now looking down into essentially what would be John's neck?
Yes.
What did you observe during your internal examination of this portion of the body?
So on the internal examination, anatomically or just by looking at it, this wound did not appear to be ante-mortem. It appeared to be post-mortem, so made after death.
Okay. And how are you able to determine that?
So when the body is alive, there are some features that we can look at anatomically or with our eye, as well as microscopically, to indicate that there was a body's response to an injury. And I saw neither of those, again, grossly or microscopically in this particular case.
So,
And I mean, for me, this is a small miracle that John had already passed away before he was decapitated. I know that it's still just, it's one more desecration, but at least the signs are there that he didn't experience this, because it just makes it all the more horrific.
to oversimplify it, the decapitation happened after he was killed.
Yes.
470, is this a side view of that same area?
Yes.
Which, what type of surfaces or types of the body are actually sliced through when a decapitation occurs?
So in this particular case, we would consider this a complete decapitation. So there is transection through the soft tissues, which are like skin and muscle, as well as any vasculature that is within that soft tissue. In this case as well, the decapitation went through the spine. So both the bony parts of the spine as well as the spinal cord, as well as the structures in the neck. So again, the muscle, soft tissues of the neck, as well as kind of the throat area.
States 486, what are we looking at here?
So this is a internal photograph of that same area, taken from the front side of the body.
What is the purpose of you eviscerating the skin and taking these photographs?
Well, as part of the autopsy examination, we examine all parts of the body, one of which is routinely the neck. So we would do this naturally in every case.
Kathy, not a clear motive. Again, it's been really hard, and I didn't do a lot of pre-research into this trial. I just heard this was a crazy one. Now, there seemed to be indications that she was leading John on, that she was telling John that she and Deviere were over. Keep in mind, this is her son, okay? Or this is John's son. So she's basically trying to get John to come to her house. And in some stories, John, and Deviere are going to all live together as a like co-parenting team for the girls. In the story that she was feeding to John, Deviere was going to be moving out. John and her were getting back together to the point that he had been in a relationship with another woman and broke it off. So, but according to Deviere, he was being told that he was possibly going to have to move on. He was basically being told both stories, but was kind of figuring if my dad moves in, I'm going to be moving out. He wasn't on board with this whole one big happy family thing. So it does seem that basically at the bottom of everything, Devin knew that she couldn't have her cake and eat it too. And when it came down to it, she still wanted to live with Deviere and be married to him. And John moving in was going to be a mess. Maybe they had an argument. It's not very clear, is what I'm trying to get at. So there were plenty of motives. There was the infidelity, hers allegedly with Deviere. And John did have a known problem with drinking. So there are all sorts of scenarios. Whether this was pre-planned, the way she got rid of evidence and left all the evidence everywhere, septuple bagging it, I don't think this was truly planned. Yeah, it's a hot mess, crazy ridiculousness of insanity.
Did you see any evidence of strangulation with what was left of the neck?
No.
What would you expect to see in the event of strangulation?
So in some strangulation cases, findings that are suggestive of that would be intramuscular hemorrhage of the anterior neck muscles, as well as sometimes we can have fracture of the hyoid bone, which is a bone in the neck.
And is the hyoid bone in this particular case gone?
Yes.
So you weren't able to examine the hyoid bone, but you didn't see any of that hemorrhaging you just described?
Correct.
When it comes to eviscerating a body, is it common for you to use tools?
Yes.
Do you use mechanized tools or just hand power tools?
Both.
When you use mechanized tools, do you get blood splatter in your face?
Not me personally, no.
Okay. Are there times in which there will be splatter?
Yes.
How so?
So if a saw is being used and there is active bleeding, say within the brain or within the head, sometimes as part of the technique of taking off the skull cap, blood could splatter.
When there's active bleeding inside the head?
Yes.
Okay. If someone is dead, how is there active bleeding inside?
I have never been more glad that, and here is perfect positive proof that sometimes the universe, God, or the spaghetti monster, look, I'm not here to be anything more than your hot mess priestess, so I really don't care which you ascribe to or none of the above. But young Mo wanted to be a surgical tech. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's the person in in the surgery room that's handing the surgeon the scalpel and all that, or suctioning things. What Mo learned very early on, when she had already, spent all the money for this particular career path, is that she passes out when seeing blood. Who knew? That being said, I have never been more glad that a career opportunity did not work out well for me, because I would be in a career I could not function in, and I wouldn't be any good at it.
Inside the head.
Well, there is blood within the cranial cavity, and the sheer mechanism of the saw can splatter blood.
Got it. When it comes to the autopsy process, is there ever a time in which you need to decapitate a body?
No.
Okay, so that's not a thing that you actually would have to do.
No.
And so, in this particular case, did you use tools to take some items out of John's body to forward on to someone else?
Yes, tools were used.
What type of body parts are you removing?
So as part of this particular examination, segments of the cervical spine were removed for a forensic anthropology consultation.
States 488, is that one of the sections?
Yes.
And for it,
488 or 48?
488.
48, okay.
And 489, is that the same section? Was it one section you took or multiple?
Multiple cervical vertebrae were taken out.
States 490, are those the cervical vertebrae that were taken?
Yes.
And 491, what is this little piece here?
I don't know.
Okay. Was this obviously removed from the body
Yes.
and provided to the forensic anthropologist?
Yes.
Is that Dr. Jennifer Burns?
Yes.
Why is it that you need to enlist the assistance of Dr. Burns?
So a forensic anthropologist can help us. Well, she can look at the bones that were removed from the body and possibly do studies, either by eye or with use of microscope, to see what kind of marks were left on those bones.
And that was done in this case?
Yes.
Once that is done, do you receive her report back?
Yes.
And after that, is it that coupled with a bunch of other stuff that you make your ultimate cause and manner determination?
Correct.
And you mentioned toxicology earlier, 492, what is this?
No, this is a urine drug screen cup.
493,
Same thing, just different side.
494, same thing.
Yes.
Did you send those items out for testing as well?
Yes, we sent multiple samples for official toxicologic analysis.
And what were the results associated with John's tox analysis?
So in the peripheral blood, ethanol or alcohol was detected, as well as caffeine and I believe cotinine, which is a metabolite of nicotine. Those items were also detected in the urine and gastric contents.
Was there a low level of marijuana?
Oh, yes, I apologize. Delta 9 THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana, and its metabolites were also detected in the peripheral blood.
And was there findings associated with GHB?
Yes, so in addition, in the heart blood, GHB, which is gamma butyric acid, was also detected at a low level.
Now, the fact that it was present at a low level does make me wonder if he was given something to facilitate him being knocked out and then he was shuffled off this mortal coil by smothering or something like that prior to the post. No, not really, from what I've seen. I'll have to do more digging because I will say I kind of just jumped into this trial. So I will do some more digging today. But as of right now, there's nothing really.
What kind of scientific explanation is there for the GHB?
So GHB is a chemical that can be endogenously produced, which means our body naturally produces it. And at the level that was detected through the toxicology report is consistent with natural levels of GHB.
Okay, so we all have GHB in our bodies?
Yes.
So the level found
that
here is
makes
not as though
sense.
he ingested some drug. It's actually consistent with naturally occurring levels in our body.
Yes.
And you mentioned alcohol was found in his body.
Yes.
What was the level with association to that?
In the peripheral blood, I believe it was 29 milligrams per deciliter.
And does that, I guess, is there a percentage or a decimal that's associated with that?
Yeah, so that would equate to like a blood alcohol level of 0.029.
And are you familiar with the legal limit in Nevada?
Yes,
What is it?
0.08.
Okay, and that's considered legally drunk?
I guess so.
Okay, well, 0.02 is a relatively low level.
It's below the legal driving limit, yes.
Are there post-mortem changes that occur that could affect the level of blood alcohol concentration?
Yes, there could be.
And how would that potentially affect the level?
So as the body decomposes, the microbes that are in our body actually also produce alcohol. So in advanced decomposition cases, there could actually be alcohol detected that wasn't necessarily in the body at the time of death, or could falsely elevate the level that is detected.
Okay, so I don't want to oversimplify it, but at the time of John's death, he had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.02 or less.
Yes,
It wouldn't be higher.
correct.
Ultimately, did you make a determination as to John's cause of death?
Yes,
And what was that?
homicidal violence.
What does that mean in your world?
So it's a term that we use in forensics to indicate that there is no anatomic cause of death that is identified at exam. There's no toxicological cause of death that is identified. And the circumstances surrounding the death are objectively suspicious. So in the
Yeah, I mean, I think the lack of the head was. You don't need Nancy Drew and Nancy Grace to combine together to make the Scooby Gang in order to figure this one out.
this case, there's a postmortem decapitation.
Had a blunt force injury to his head killed John, is it fair to say that you would need his head to make that legal determination?
Yes,
That you never received his head up until today's date.
Correct. There was no head available for evaluation.
And ultimately, what did you determine was John's manner of death?
Homicide?
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Ross?
Yes, was Your Honor going to take it, or was you going to take it?
No, we're going to finish our for lunch.
Okay. Good afternoon. Ma'am, in reference to your testimony concerning lividity, we'll start with that, the beginning of your testimony. Just walk through this.
Oh, for the love of God. J.K. G-Buck, bringing, well, more glory and fame to our home state, Indiana. In local news, a local kid got arrested trying to take the weed into Decatur County Jail. Dum da dum dum dum. Yeah, I don't know who needs to hear this, but your local prison establishments would rather you not take the devil's lettuce in. It's kind of another felony.
You're not able to give any opinion as to the position this body was in when this person was decapitated, correct?
Correct.
Can't say if the body had been moved or anything like that based on your review of the body.
Correct.
You're unable to say whether the body was face down or face up when the decapitation occurred. Fair to say?
Correct.
No, but I hope to God, I mean, you're already kind of a super sociopath if you're able to decapitate someone. But I kind of hope that she wasn't looking him in the face as she's, wielding the chainsaw like, oh gosh, the Evil Dead. I'm kind of hoping just a little bit. I mean, I think that's a question we should ask her. Face up, face down. That should be a sentencing question. Like, after we've adjudicated her guilty, we know that the jury goes on to give her the guilty verdict. I think we need to ask, head up, head down. Oh, God. What's dumber is he tried to get a deputy to sneak it in for him. Indiana, we're not sending our best or brightest, but we are giving you all the high fructose corn syrup you could ask for. Someone has to do it.
In reference
And
to the
good
wounds
morning.
that you had testified concerning, you had said that they may indicate a pre-attempt to decapitate. Do you recall that?
Previous.
Okay, a previous.
Yes.
Could have been a post, though, and you can't say for sure one way or the other, correct?
Correct.
So that's an assumption.
No, I mean, okay. The reason we can probably explain it's not a post decapitation cut, not that I'm going to force logic upon your defendant, because God, her and logic have never effing met before. Like, her passport has never been stamped with logic. But why would you continue to cut ahead when you've done decapitated it? No, it makes perfect sense that there would be hesitation cuts that weren't as deep as she was getting used to how to decapitate. But why would she post-capitate him? Or cut him post-decapitation? Doesn't make sense. I need someone to stay on a logic train just for once.
Yes.
At this point in time, on August 8th, when you conducted this examination, approximately how many autopsies did you perform?
At that time, I would estimate maybe 500-600 autopsies.
Okay. How many years had you been conducting autopsies when you conducted this autopsy?
In 2023, 2 years.
2 years. However, due to these, perhaps can we say out of the ordinary circumstances, this was sent to a Dr. Burns. There were tissue samples and things sent to Dr. Burns. Fair to say, the anthropologist?
The bones were sent, yes.
Bones were.
And it's not lack of experience, it's different areas of expertise. Again, we'll take my doctor's appointment today as an analogy. I'm going to my GP today, my general practitioner, or my primary care manager today. Now, he can go on to further send me to a specialist for pain or neurology, which might very likely be what he does. Every time I go there. But he has all the medical knowledge to be my primary care physician. He doesn't have the specialized knowledge to say address, oh, my pain is really flaring up. Oh, let me send you to a doctor who specializes in nerve pain. I don't like this lawyer has in particular been extremely snarky and condescending to nearly everyone on the witness stand, but I have noticed it more with women, the crime scene people. He definitely does seem very snarky, like, oh, you just don't have the experience. Well, in the 2 years that she had been doing autopsies, she managed to get 500 to 600 done in that time. I love it. It's like, oh, since you weren't really experienced with decapitation, we had to send you to a manager.
You had testified that you were unable to approximate the time of death other than half a day, something like that, correct?
Yes, a large range of time.
Large range, okay. So you couldn't say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock the previous day, could you?
That's correct.
When the body is examined and further dismembered, the body is refrigerated, correct?
Yes.
At what temperature is the body when you
Maybe.
examine it? Just give or take.
At the time of examination, room temperature.
Okay, but previous to the examination.
While refrigerated?
Yes, yes. When it's brought, why don't we go through the process
Sure.
a little bit? The body is brought to the coroner's office, correct?
Yes.
Where is it placed?
The body is then placed in our refrigeration area. Yes.
Okay, and this refrigeration area, kind of like you see in the movies, has bodies, trays, things like that?
Yes, there are other bodies.
And what temperature are those refrigeration units where the bodies are stored?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Cold enough to preserve the bodies, correct?
Cold enough to keep carrot sticks crisp. Where are we going with this, dude? Again, she has explained how absolutely multifactorial the timing of deaths are. If they didn't take a body temperature when they first got on the scene and all of that, it's going to be multifactorial, and it's not going to be like, okay, he definitely died at 12:30 a.m., give or take 20 seconds. It's always going to be a range of things.
Yes.
Fair to say just above freezing?
I can't say.
Okay, you don't know.
I don't know.
You were asked questions concerning through the course of your examinations, these autopsies, limbs, other things are severed, correct?
Sorry, can you
It
repeat the
can be.
question?
I mean, you were asked on direct. At times, there's a necessity to cut a body, correct?
Yes.
And these cuts are generally made by yourself, the coroner.
No, not always.
Who are they made by?
So our forensic technicians assist us in the evisceration portion of our examinations.
And during this evisceration portion,
Okay, and can we stop using the word evisceration? Can we just say the internal exam? Look, I don't think I have used the word or heard the word eviscerated more than in this trial and a Mortal Kombat tutorial. Yes, I'm trying to learn video games. Look, regardless of the amount of tutorials, my brain doesn't... Look, I can tell my thumbs to do stuff, but remembering left and right and up and down and A, B, C, D, all while trying to fight another, well, my kiddos in Mortal Kombat, it's just... Yeah, but it reminds me of like battlefields in Mortal Kombat, not like an autopsy. Yeah. Well, no, vivisection is when you're doing an autopsy of a live person. That was really popular in the Victorian ages. Like they would actually do live dissections, which, again, what is wrong with Victorian people? We have issues. If y'all couldn't see a bit of ankle without losing your damn mind, but look, can we take a side tangent while I make fun of Bridgerton? Okay. Someone's going to need to explain the Victorian society to me, because if you can like have your boobs like heaved up and basically, squeezed to almost nipple, height and exposure, but we can't see an ankle, I'm gonna need someone to explain things to me. Thank God I wasn't born in the Victorian age. Can you imagine this mouth in the Victorian age? I'm just saying, someone's going to need to explain the whole Bridgerton thing to me. I don't get it. Mainly because, yes, if you wear a corset and your tatas are basically up to your chin and people can see your nippular area, but you're worried about a bit of ankle, I am all the confused. Well, we did get Mario Kart or Mario Donkey Kong Explosion. I don't know what we got. I'm just trying to learn some game. I might be trying to learn the wrong game, which might be why I'm sucking so bad.
The bodies have just been brought from the refrigerators or the cooling, freezing devices, correct?
Yes, in our storage area.
Holy Jesus, is he making the case that the bodies are literally frozen in the autopsy area, so that's why there's no splatter? No, there's no splatter because there's no active blood being pumped to the area. That is why when she made the example of there being blood splatter during a cranial surgery, she made the point to say it was a surgery, and surgery does indicate on a live human. Now, an autopsy indicates that that person is dead, which might, which lacks the pumping blood and decreases the splatter. Good night, nurse. This is why you need an Alessi. You need someone who understands medical things, because if you don't, it's not that this lawyer is stupid, but he knows the way to shade things, to use ignorance that people that don't deal with this all the time kind of against him. So good on you for using your douche power to try to Jedi mind trick us into, well, you guys freeze the body. That's why there's no splatter.
It's fair to say then you're not going to have cast off or splatter because the blood contained within the cadaver is very cold, correct?
Well, the heart is also not beating, so we don't have spurting blood.
We're not talking, we'll get to that, but as far as, obviously you'll agree with me that there's a congealing mechanism when the body is refrigerated, correct?
Blood can clot, yes.
And this evisceration of the body occurs.
Her face is exactly like mine because she realizes how incredibly stupid these questions are. It's not going to be like Resident Evil. It's not going to be like, oh, got Night of the Evil Dead. Good Lord, this line of questioning makes me question the Department of Education and their corruption of our mental stewardship of children.
Sometime after the death, generally, correct?
Yes.
It can be perhaps like a day, in this case, 2 days, 3 days, multiple days, correct?
Correct.
So we've got a body now that has obviously been dead for some period of time in conjunction with this element of refrigeration, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree with me then that when the tools are used, and you'll agree with me that these tools that are used are designed to cut through tissue, bone, things of that nature.
Yes.
So they're made to sever limbs or sever necks, things like that, correct?
Yes.
So when you're using these specialized...
Yeah, all those doctor tools to sever your neck? What the hell? Jesus.
instruments made for the dismemberment of a body, it's done with a special instrument, it's done when the body's been refrigerated, it's been done sometime after the person has been deceased, correct?
In my experience, yes.
Let's turn our attention to the facts and circumstances of this case, okay?
Okay.
Read all about it, extra, extra. We've just found out that autopsies are generally done on dead people that have been refrigerated. If this is news to you, you learned it when you were today years old.
Let's say a person is decapitated a fairly short time after that person or upon that person being killed.
She doesn't work
okay?
with the living.
You'd expect that if the neck is severed or the body is severed from the head, there's going to be fresh blood, correct? Perhaps if the person is dead and the heart's not beating, but we have liquid blood, correct?
I would expect there to be blood, yes.
Let's say a sawzalls are used or some other electric saw. Fair to assume that we're going to have some blood if this head is being severed, correct?
Possibly.
Closer in time to death, the more likely that we're going to have blood that's able to be cast off, correct?
Possibly.
And we're not talking about a slight possibility, we're talking about a real possibility, aren't we?
Can you be more specific? I don't know what you're asking.
It depends. Again, here's the problem is that she is thinking about this like a doctor, so she is going to try to answer accurately, but there are he's taking a multifactorial situation and then adding another multifactorial situation or scenario, because your blood clotting is not a standard set thing. There are times and rates which are normal for your given population and age, but it can also be dependent on your state of health, your level of health, and many other different things. So he is already, this is why he can't, this is why you need to have some cursory medical knowledge, because he is now taking a hypothetical and adding another hypothetical, and all she can say is it depends, because it truly does depend.
Sorry.
Okay, what part of my question is unclear, just so I can ask you questions so we can be on the same page.
Yeah, the specification of real possibility. I don't.
Okay,
know.
you say it's possible. I mean, it's likely, correct?
Depending on circumstances, yes.
Okay, so now we're getting from a near possibility to a likelihood. This person is dead. This person is immediately decapitated with a non-specialized device. Likely we're going to have some cast off of blood, aren't we?
I wouldn't say yes to cast off. There likely is blood, yes.
And when we talk about likely blood, we're talking about basically the kinetic energy from a saw going back and forth. We're going to expect to see blood spatter, aren't we?
Possibly.
Likely, correct?
I have no experience in this particular situation,
Okay.
so I can't give my opinion as to that.
So when you're asked questions concerning when you're doing this in the very controlled circumstances of an autopsy, you can't really compare, so you can't really give an opinion.
It is a fair point that, yes, these situations in an autopsy and where the state was trying to draw an analogy, they were linking their analogy based on working both of them working with dead bodies. But there are a lot of dissimilarities. And so the defense is right to put this there. But again, being condescending, being a bit of a dickhead, a la any John Hughes movie from, the 80s, he didn't need to have the condescension. She doesn't work in crime scenes. She doesn't do that. What she does is in a very controlled environment. So yeah, she wouldn't have experience. I mean, she could, basically say, I guess if you watch CSI or logically, yes, there might be some blood, but I'm not going to be able to give you a blood spatter analysis. And he knows that. He knows as a defense attorney, she is going to look incredibly ill-footed or unprepared if he asks her these questions. And that might be a strategy. Do I think it's one that generally plays well with the jury and works? No, I don't, especially when the energy hasn't been matched. She's been nothing but kind and, trying to answer his questions, and he's been condescending and a bit of a dick. And thank you so much for hanging out with us, Wolfram, and enjoy your lunch. We will be going for another 30-ish minutes. I do have to end at 12 because like I said, I forgot I had a doctor's appointment. I'm glad I checked my stuff in the break between mornings with Mo and now. So let's get back on this to get as much of the trial in as possible today.
But obviously it's more likely there's blood that's going to be spit out or sent out if a person's being decapitated close in time to their death, correct?
Possibly.
Okay. You would agree with me that you can't say to any degree of medical certainty that this person was actually dead when this decapitation occurred, correct?
In my opinion, this decapitation was a post-mortem event, so yes, after death.
Okay. How close in time then? Do you know?
I do not know.
Today you've just testified that it's homicidal. Basically, the death was homicidal in nature, correct?
Yes.
I believe your term was homicidal violence.
Yes.
But you can't tell us how this person died, correct?
That is correct.
There have been questions concerning, is it the hyoid?
Yes, hyoid bone.
And that would indicate perhaps a strangulation, correct?
Yes.
However, in this case, you didn't have that bone to review, correct?
That is correct.
I mean, you can't say if this person died choking, correct?
Can you specify the nature of the choking?
Choked.
Okay, imagine this. Brian Walsh, Devin Miller. Imagine if it was a choking death and they had the full body to work with. It's almost like when you hide bits and pieces of the body, we kind of figure you're all the fucking sus. I mean, excuse my French, but the level to which they think we are morons, the defense treating everyone like we are functionally stupid is annoying.
No,
You can't say then that could have happened, correct? That's possible.
that's possible. Yes,
This person could have had a pillow placed over his face, correct?
correct,
And then decapitated, isn't that right?
correct.
This person could have been shot in the head, correct?
That is correct.
So you can't give an opinion excluding that, can you?
That's correct.
You were asked questions concerning any bleeding injuries on the body, correct?
Yes.
Fair to say at this point in time, this body wasn't bleeding, correct?
No active bleeding. Correct.
I mean, the head's off, it's not bleeding, correct?
Yes.
Do we need an anatomical schoolhouse rock? Yes. If you are dead, your heart is not pumping. The plumbing system doesn't have an engine. What is, dear Lord, thank goodness our Pearls of Wisdom book is coming in so that I might learn how to dispel all of my irritation at the stupidity of these questions. Oh, also, on another note, complete tangent, sorry. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's where everyone is confused as to the actual timeline, and I'm a bit more tangenty than normal. But I may have found our Mo Pearl wig. I may have found it. I am going to double check all of my options, and then we may have found the Mo Pearl wig. So now all that is on the to-do list is, well, to find a stuffed possum. But we are halfway on our journey.
Fair to say, and you'll agree with me that, I mean, a decapitation is a fairly rare event in your line of work, as opposed to other manners of death, or
Yes.
would you agree with me that it would be difficult to effectuate a decapitation?
I don't know. I have never attempted one myself.
Okay. Based upon the physicality of this, I mean, there's a number of things that are involved, correct?
Yes.
We have the blood system, the veins, things of that nature in the neck, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree with me that that person is dead or not? I mean, we have the aorta veins, big veins, correct?
The aorta is not in the neck.
I'm sorry, the heart, but I mean the neck. We have the
Carotid.
carotid. That's a fair amount of blood there, correct?
Yeah, can be.
Dead or not, correct?
Well, if they're dead, there's no blood in the carotids.
Okay, so there.
Well, JKD Buck, we have learned that because the bodies are refrigerated and dead, there's not a lot of splatter in an autopsy lab. And, well, decapitation is hard. And because they're missing the head, well, they can't figure out how the body died. Basically, the standard, bog standard, let's confuse the jury and bring up nothing. This man might have been an acolyte to Mr. Oh gosh, what was his name? Horton or Hilton from the Brian Walsh case. He is along the same lines of, let's just muddy the water.
You're saying, let's say that person died shortly before or at the time of decapitation. There's going to be blood in the carotid arteries, correct?
There might be.
Okay. And if those carotid arteries are severed, we're going to expect cast off from the blood contained within the carotid arteries, correct?
If the person is dead, no.
Okay, so let me say, in the arteries, is there going to be blood? And we're not talking a person that's been dead for days. We're talking minutes, perhaps.
Yes, there may be some residual blood.
Okay, and this residual blood, if those arteries are cut with a power tool, we're going to expect there's going to be some form of cast off, correct?
There may be, yes.
The musculature, obviously that way.
You are no longer, you don't have blood pressure anymore. Your system is currently under pressure because you have a giant valve and engine moving it. Now, I don't know if you've ever just looked at liquid in a pipe. Yeah, it'll ooze out, but it's not under pressure. You don't have that the dynamic of the pressure that gives you all of these different patterns. Oh God, man, dude.
Have to be severed, correct?
Yes.
And there's a fair amount of musculature in the human neck, correct?
Yes.
Fair to say that the neck contains a fairly complex arrangement of tissues, major blood vessels, trachea, things of that nature, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a bunch of important shit in the neck, you absolute douche canoe. Well, have you ever tried to decapitate someone? Is it hard? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph wept. What are these questions?
The vertebrae in this case were severed,
Yes.
as well as the thick ligaments connecting such, correct?
Yes.
We also have the spinal column that would have to have been severed, correct?
Yes.
And again, that's fairly a lot, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about a big cut, aren't we?
Yes.
He was fully decapitated. We're talking about more than a big cut. It was inherent in the word decapitation. De meaning off or non. Capitation, head. You deheaded them. I don't want to be a part of the Matrix anymore. Can Morpheus give me the other colored pill? We made the wrong choice. Where are we on this timeline?
Dense ligaments, cartilage, correct? All that had to have been severed, correct?
Yes.
So this is fairly different than, let's say, a limb, correct?
That depends.
Okay, an arm. I mean, neck's a lot more going on there than an arm, correct?
Yes and no. There are still some of the same elements that you see in the neck and arm, including bone.
And this is why this question is going to be, he's not going to get the answer he wants. What he wants is, this is going to take specialized thing. This is going to be something that someone's going to have to think about and take extra time, and you need a man. That's where he's trying to go with this. And there's other ways he could have asked this question. He could have brought up and gone back instead of spending all this asinine time on the blood spatter and say, the state brought up moving bodies and how your techs are female. Is that a single person job or a 2-person job? What are the difficulties in moving a dead body? So again, there were ways he could have attacked what the state is bringing forward and what she initially allegedly confessed to. You don't need to go into the blood. The blood's kind of not going to win you anything, especially when she is not going to be answering your questions in the way you want.
Bones and soft tissues.
Okay. But would you agree with me that the neck is a more complex portion of the body than the arm?
Yes.
Obviously, you have the heart supplying the brain with blood, correct?
Yes.
So you have large artery supplying the brain with blood, correct?
Yes.
In your report concerning the postmortem examination of the body of Jonathan Willett, you arrived at a conclusion that it was consistent with the use of 2 tools.
That was not my opinion personally. That was integrated from the forensic anthropologist consultation report.
Okay. This was the report, and I'm referring to the autopsy report. You authored this report.
Correct, but I garnered that information from Dr. Burns' report.
Do you adopt it? Do you have any reason to disagree with Dr. Burns' analysis?
No.
So then in your report where you incorporated Dr. Burns' conclusions, 2 tools, correct?
Per her report, yes.
A hand-powered knife, correct?
I don't recall if the wording was knife.
And if I told you it says a hand-powered knife, would you have any reason to disagree
No.
with me? And a mechanically powered saw, correct?
Sure.
Go ahead,
On
formulate
your
it. Take your
pathologic
time.
findings, in addition to the decapitation, You also found hepatic steatosis,
Correct.
and that is,
Fatty liver disease.
you were given, asked questions concerning the blood alcohol content, correct?
Yes.
And it's your testimony that that was the blood alcohol content at the time of death?
Most likely, yes.
Would that blood alcohol content changed following the time of death?
It could. So, as previously discussed in the postmortem interval, there is postmortem development or formation of ethanol that can be produced by the body's microbes.
So then it would be unfair to say what the blood alcohol content was actually at the time of death. Fair to say?
Well, for your purposes, again, he is trying to bring up the fact that John has been known to be a heavy drinker. John did seem to have some issues with drinking. So did Deviere, along with, I think, maybe just failure to launchy things. That being said, it would actually, asking her this is detrimental to the defense. The defense wants to paint a picture of an unstable man who was a heavy drinker, taken out by his heavy drinking son. The fact is his levels were below, and the delay in actually doing the exam, because it was a day after, could have potentially increased his levels slightly. I mean, he wasn't fully in advanced decomposition that can increase ethanol production, but with as low as his level was, this is kind of counteracting that John was a perpetual drunk all the time.
Correct.
And also that person's blood alcohol content would have to be, you say at the time of death, but then we don't know what the time of death is, do we?
Not exactly.
We can't say it was 3 o'clock, 3:30, anything like that, can we?
No.
Now, it's possible, based upon your understanding the physiology of how we process alcohol in our bodies, this person may have had a much higher blood alcohol content, let's say at 1 p.m., correct?
Can you specify the time that you're using in relation to the question?
Okay. You were asked a question, this person's blood alcohol, 0.02, something, remember that?
Yes.
0.29 milliliters per milliliter of blood. You gave it an opinion concerning the blood alcohol, correct?
Correct.
But you'd have to know the time of death, correct? That's part of this analysis.
No.
Okay. My question to you now is, let's say the time of death is 3 o'clock.
No, she just said no. You should explore that. Why do you say you don't need to know the time of death to understand what this toxicology number means? I thought that it was part of a formula that, takes the time of death and how the body physiologically processes. That should be something he's paying attention to. That's another thing I have noticed about this lawyer. He is not waiting for them to answer and then responding to the answers they give. He already has his next question up. To me, that you miss a lot when you aren't paying attention to the answers and you're simply thinking about your next question. Because that could have been a place where he would have stopped and I think effectively said, okay, wait a minute. You're telling me we can understand these toxicology numbers absent the actual time of death? Doesn't that, how would you be able to calculate if he had just had alcohol prior to his death? Could it be possible that he's in fact more drunk at the time of his death, but his body simply hadn't, I guess, rendered all of the alcohol? There are ways you can ask these questions that would make more sense on a defense side, and he just isn't doing a good job. I mean, I love his suit. I love that he has the guy from Schitt's Creek as his baby lawyer, but I'm not a fan of his general demeanor in court or how he answers or asks questions. Partially because of his demeanor, his condescension, but also because they don't make sense. I see what he's trying to do, but he's doing a horrible job.
Okay. Are you able to give us with an estimation, and I won't hold you to it specifically, but can you give us an estimation of that person's blood alcohol at 2 o'clock, assuming that person died at 3?
No.
Can you give us the blood alcohol content at 1 o'clock, assuming that person died at 3?
No.
Midnight. You can't, can you?
No.
In addition to the alcohol that was in the blood, you also found evidence of THC, correct?
Correct.
And what was the level of THC in Mr. Willette's body?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay. Fair to say that the combination of both alcohol and THC affects a person's ability to drive a vehicle.
Possibly.
Now, there is a reason that we are asking these questions. Now, the defense's sort of explanation for the very incriminating fact that she septuple bagged John's keys, wallet, and driver's license was that he was a known heavy drinker, and in order to not facilitate him driving drunk or getting DUIs, his family members would often take his keys and driving accoutrement away from him, so he couldn't drive if he was drinking. And, you know, maybe that is something that they do, but you typically don't, you know, do that and then stuff them in your underwear drawer under your thongs, and he just happens to end up without a head the next day.
Possibly.
I'm not a clinical toxicologist. My patient population is very specific, and those patients have no clinical signs and symptoms at the time that I see them. So I cannot opine as to their behavior living with those certain levels.
Very, very fair to say. So I'll ask you a more general question. You'll agree with me that the combination of alcohol and THC cause a person to be more intoxicated.
I don't know.
And then thirdly, you had testified concerning the presence of GHB, correct?
Yes.
And you opined that that may be a result just of natural antecedents. Fair to say?
Yes, it's consistent with the level that we would naturally produce in our body.
But you can't give an opinion as to whether or not this person had ingested drugs or GHB specifically.
That's correct.
So this person may have, in addition to ingesting alcohol and marijuana, this person may have ingested GHB, correct?
Yes, possibly.
And again, the combination of these three substances would presumably lead to an intoxicated state.
It might. Again, I'm not a clinical practitioner.
Dude, how many times does she need to tell you she doesn't work with the living? Okay, maybe it's her face that has all the lifelessness of a random DMV. Look, I'm sure she's fun at parties. I'm sure, you know, you get her started on Harry Potter. She's a ball, just a ball of laughs. But she doesn't work with the living.
We have the course in Dublin.
Kind of
Fine.
implied in
Re-question.
medical
Through the course of
examiner.
this dismemberment or evisceration, do you wear goggles?
I wear a face shield,
Okay, and that's because of cast-off and things that you may get, correct?
along with other bodily fluids that we may encounter, yes.
Apron on, correct?
Yes,
For the same reason, to protect yourself from cast-off of blood or other bodily fluids.
correct.
And again, the height of this autopsy table, what is the height?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Is it made for the ease of moving a cadaver?
Yes, so it can be moved up and down.
To ease in the flipping back and forth and such of the body, correct?
Also to help with our technicians who are varying heights. So they're the ones doing the evisceration, so we want everyone to be ergonomic and comfortable.
Understood, and to work together as a team to move the body, correct?
Yes, sometimes we do.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thanks. Did ladies and gentlemen have any questions for this witness? Okay, standing response, Dr. Ortiz, thank you very much for your testimony here today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our lunch recess. It's going to be a short.
And that's where we're going to stop today because, you know, as per usual, I get one factor of my life, you know, on step, on track, all of my trials. We have a pretty big month coming up in January, so I'm trying to get like all the things going on, the hearings and all that. Baker gave me this advice and I'm finally doing it. But I failed to put my personal stuff on there, so I almost completely forgot about a doctor's appointment until they sent me a super-duper awesome well, I don't think it's Mo specific, but they've started sending out text. 12:45.
Are we going to grocery shopping after?
Sure.
Okay. You sound excited.
It's grocery shopping at Walmart. I can help pick up the crap. Don't be peanut butter and jealous of me, everyone. I get the glamorous job of going to Walmart with Mr. Mo after my doctor's appointment. I'll go look at the clearance stuff from the Christmas thing, see if there's anything sparkly left over, see if there's any candles still on sale, if there's any Christmas peeps left. Hey, I'm not above looking at the clearance section. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on this shorter day of the Petty Express. I do expect tomorrow and the rest of the week to kind of go to our normal 2 o'clock and get the rest of this trial done. Because next week, and I did let you guys know this on Mornings with Mo, but next week, starting Monday, we are going to be covering the Sarah Grace Patrick trial out of Georgia. That is the teenage girl who allegedly took the lives of her mother and stepfather and then reached out to TikTok to try to solve the mystery. The very interesting part about this case, I was kind of introduced to it on Nick's show. He will be covering it too, so you are not obligated to stay with me. I think a lot of people will be covering this. Is that there hasn't been a lot released on the docket to the public. So we are all essentially going to be going in kind of like I do normally without looking at the hearings. I do want to start looking at pretrial hearings for a couple of the cases coming up this year. It's not our standard practice here. Most of the time we like to go in as jury or jurors, but there are some cases that I think are so information dense and so kind of high profile that in order to help guide you guys along and be able to pull up information, I do want us to catch those hearings. On that note, shameless self-promotion. I do have a short under 15-minute video that breaks down the Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk hearing yesterday. It was a pretty good hearing. If you like really nice, calming vocal tones, I will say the judge in the Charlie Kirk case has just a very soothing voice. But if you don't want to listen to 45 minutes of lawyerese, I kind of break it down. Again, a gajillion and 12 thank yous, you guys. The electronic notebook that I was able to get because of all of your support and super chats has been amazing. So I can, write notes quickly when I have a break instead of searching for 95 different notebooks. So thank you guys so much. So that's kind of what to look forward to the Petty Express this coming year. This past year has kind of been, well, not so great with the live trials. This year has been a real learning curve. Hagatha has been on the warpath a lot this year. I was really lucky to have 3 fairly good years where the flares only really happened at seasonal changes. This year has not been that year. So I did what I could, but I'm feeling better and more organized. So going into this coming year, expect a more organized Mo. I do have all things figured out. And then more of the hearing videos from random cases, I will probably watch those and then break them down into shorter videos for you guys. Just because we've got a lot of cases in the year coming forward. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for kind of the last blowing off steam trial that we're going to have going into the new year. And if there are any trials or any cases that you want me to start looking at, if there are ones that are really, getting you going, please put them in the comments if you're watching on replay stream, because I know you're going to be shocked, but I can't keep track of all of the true crime everywhere. So if there are cases that you particularly want me to look at or go back and start doing research and doing pre-trials that are coming up this year, let me know and we will get those onto the list. So thank you very much. The trial of Billy Jack. Now, one of the trials that, one of the current hearings that is going on that I do want to go back and research is the Holly Bobo hearing, the post-conviction hearing. But I do know that there's a lot of backstory on that. So before I present it to you guys, I want to go back and remember that trial and all of the characters in order to get those kind of real context and not jump into that, because I know that is an OG kind of true crime case. So I want to give that a bit more information, but do be on the lookout. That will be something that will be in the shuffle as we're between trials. So thank you guys so much. Remember, here on the Petty Express, we never roast the victims, but we always question logic. We call balls a ball, a strike a strike. We're never on anyone's side except for justice. But I will call you out. And my sandwich puppet comes in today. On that note, I leave you all so I can get ready to look like an actual functional human adult person, or at least pretend to be so during my doctor's appointment. Though Mr. Mo now goes with me to keep me honest and to remind me of things, it's really sweet because sometimes I get Twitter pated in the doctor's office and he's always there like asking the smart questions. So that's good. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Mornings with Mo, Christmas Eve, Stranger Things. It's all happening tomorrow. And for the love of all that is holy, look, on the Stranger Things note, this is the last tangent I'll leave you on. Let people like it if they like it. Look, if you didn't like it, that's fine. But let's not review bomb or review Spike. Again, if you are that bored with your life that you need to go into an internet battle about Stranger Things, I have plenty of chores. If you're good with technology, I've got other chores. If you just need a purpose in life, I've got dishes and laundry. So if your life is in need of purpose, I have chores. Bye, you guys.